Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 of your English video. This second part is of your MCP lesson, that is Fearless and Faithful. First, let us see what you would be looking into in this video. The first part would be the vocabulary of the lesson, where you will be looking into the new words. The second part would be the summary, and the third part would be the main character sketch, that is Jhalkari. I hope you must have read the lesson, marked down the new words that you have come across, and also written down the meaning. But anyway, before we start with the summary of the lesson, let's get to know few of the new words that you have come across in the lesson. We will also know their meanings and their usage. Today, let's learn some of the words that you come across in the lesson. The first word that we are going to learn today is sturdy. How do you pronounce it? Sturdy. It's an adjective which means strong. How is it used in a sentence? Little John fought Robin Hood with a sturdy stick. Let me repeat the sentence. John Little fought Robin Hood with a sturdy stick. The second word that we are going to learn today is bombarded. Bombarded. It's a verb. Means continuously attack a place with guns, bombs, and cannons. How is it used in a sentence? The city was bombarded by the Roman soldiers. The third word that we would be learning today is intended. It's a verb which means planned. We intended to go to Australia this year, but it failed due to Corona. Here it means the word intended means planned. We had planned to go to Australia this year, but it failed due to Corona. Stealth is a noun which means secretly. You must have seen lions and tigers stealthily prey on animals. How is it used in a sentence? The thieves operate with stealth. That means they can easily steal from the pockets of unsuspecting travelers. The next word that we are learning today is reluctant. Let me pronounce it again. Reluctant is an adjective which means unwilling. Initially, I was reluctant to write the assignment given during lockdown. I hope you must be feeling the same right now. The last word that we are learning today is betrayer or traitor is a noun. It means someone who turns his own people over to the enemy, a person who is not loyal to their country. Let's see how it's used in a sentence. The spy was a betrayer because he gave away all the secret to the enemies. The second part of your video, as I had said earlier, would be the summary. Now let's summarize the whole story for you, event by event. The summary: fearless and faithful. Jhalakari was a bold and fearless little girl who lived in Bhojla village in Uttar Pradesh. She was hardworking, good-natured, and enjoyed the outdoors. She was liked by the villagers. She was nicknamed Jhalakari when she single-handedly fought a leopard and killed it merely with a sturdy stick. After marrying a soldier in the army of Rani Lakshmi Bai, Jhalakari went to live in Jhansi. The Rani liked her frank and fearless manner and chose Jhalakari to be her companion. They became good friends and went out riding together and practiced fencing, wrestling, and shooting. At that time, the British were expanding their territory in India. The officers of the East India Company ruled the people of the land harshly, and there were rumors of war. In 1857, fighting broke out all over the country as the people rose in rebellion against the British. In March 1858, the British attacked the fort of Jhansi. The Rani's troops fought back bravely. Jhalakari, who was always by her queen's side, rode from one point to another, firing at British soldiers. The enemy had not expected such a strong defense of the fort. The British commander telegraphed for more troops to be sent. Again, the Rani's army held on. Finally, the British entered the fort at night by stealth by bribing Dulaji Thakur, who was in charge of the south gate of the fort. Jalakari saw them and sounded the alarm. The Rani's army opened fire and the attackers fell back. They fought for many days. Eventually, the British began to overpower the Rani's army. Though reluctant at first, following her advisor's request, Rani Lakshmibai agreed to leave the fort. Dressed in armor and carrying a dagger and two revolvers, she rode unrecognized out of the gates. Jhalakari went with her for part of the way. As soon as she knew that the Rani was safe, Jhalakari, disguised in Rani Lakshmibai's clothes and riding her white horse, returned to the fortress. As she had planned, the British soldiers mistook her for Rani Lakshmibai and captured her and led her to their commander. Being unsure that the captive was really Rani Lakshmibai, the commander called Dulaji to identify her. Dulaji confirmed the British commander's suspicion and said that it was not Rani. The British commander was furious that they had been tricked and sentenced Jhalakari to death by hanging. Jhalakari was unafraid. As they led her to her death, she warned the British that they would rise again and again and fight back until they won their freedom. She refused to be silent even as the rope tightened around her neck. We have come to the last part of this video, that is character sketch. Let us sketch the character of our main character, Jhalakari.
Here we come to the last part of this video, that is the character sketch of Jhalakari. The first point is fearless. Just imagine if you had to face a leopard. Sometimes we get scared of a cockroach. Well, she single-handedly faced the leopard and killed it just with a sturdy stick. That shows she was fearless. The next character of Jhalakari was being faithful. She was not only faithful to Rani but also faithful to the country. You get to know this in the last part of the story, wherein she just safeguards Rani to a safer place. Then she comes back to her hometown, and then she fights. She gets caught by the British. It shows she was being faithful to Rani as well as the country. She was bold. Just imagine a woman. I guess she's just not only called phenomenal. I just can call her, a super woman, because she is bold enough to accompany Rani alone and taking her out of the city, all by herself, and coming back alone dressed as Rani, yet knowing that she would be either captured and killed by the British. She was really bold. She was a real risk taker. As I said earlier, she came back dressed like Rani. She was a risk taker. Challenges of life. She opened her mind, her thoughts to the challenges of life. She actually equipped herself to face the challenges of her life. You get to know being a part of Rani or being a friend to Rani, and learning all the kind of skills that the Rani learned. She too learned, and she equipped herself to face the challenges of life.
Jhalkari. Jhalkari was a bold and fearless girl who single-handedly fought and killed a leopard with a sturdy stick. When she grew up, she was married to a soldier in Rani Lakshmi Bai's army in Jhansi. Jhalkari became the Rani's companion because of her frank and fearless attitude. The two young women went riding and fenced, wrestled, and practiced shooting together. In March 1858, the British troops attacked the fort at Jhansi, but Rani's troops fought back bravely. The British decided to gain entry into the fort by stealth. At night, they bribed a man named Dulaji, who showed them a break in the wall from where the soldiers entered the fort at night. Jhalkari saw them and sounded an alarm. The Rani's army opened fire. However, the British troops managed to reach the palace gates. Rani Lakshmi Bai agreed to leave her palace for a safe place. Dressed in armor and carrying weapons, she rode unrecognized out of the city gates. As soon as the Rani was safe, Jhalkari wore the Rani's clothes and rode her white horse back to the fortress. The British soldiers mistook her for the Rani and captured her. When the British commander got to know that who they had captured was not the queen, he was furious at being tricked and ordered that she be hanged to death. As they led Jhalkari to her death, she shouted out, "Beware! You will never conquer us! Long live India! Long live Lakshmi Bai! Long live freedom!"
So these are the characters that we learn about Jhalkari in this story. Now that we have come to the end of this chapter, you will be sent an assignment of your classwork. You need to write the answers for the questions after the lesson and post it on WhatsApp. See you. Bye-bye.